Welcome to the Spreadsheet 2, that's Information Processing 2080 instructional video. This time we're looking at the topic to split, freeze, and unfreeze workbooks. Now in this Google Sheets version, the split function doesn't actually exist. So a split feature is basically like a split screen. You can draw a line down the middle of your spreadsheet and then scroll the left and right windows independently. So you could see two different versions of the spreadsheet. The easiest way to simulate that with a Google Sheet is to open the same spreadsheet in two windows and then have those two windows side by side. It's a little more resource intensive because you have two instances of the spreadsheet open instead of one, but that's how it works. Now we can freeze. So freezing a spreadsheet is useful. If you have, say, a name or label, and we have some information here. So we have some labels, and then we have data that goes out to many, many columns. And if you have a lot of labels, when you're out in column S, you may not know who you're working with. So if you're doing this in a grade book at a college or a university situation where you have a couple of hundred students, you want to make sure that you are keeping the student names in view as you scroll to the right, so that you know you are entering the data under the right student. So the way to do this, under the View menu, you freeze. In this case, you could freeze one row, and that will freeze the top row that has all of our data headers. So if we're scrolling down through hundreds of students and all these data points, you still know who it is at the top. And if we freeze one column, well, now that first column stays frozen. We see the gray bars here indicate that. And now as we scroll to the right through all this data, the names stay, and if we scroll down, the, say, assignment names stay. So that relevant information remains on screen. And you can freeze not just one row or two rows, but up to two columns. So if you had separate first name, last name, or student name, student ID number, you can even freeze up to whatever row and whatever column you happen to be at. So if we freeze it there, everything from that cell up and to the left will always stay in view. And to remove it, we just pick our no columns or no rows options. And now none of this section or none of these rows and columns are frozen any longer.